Dun 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 dun.
You remember when
we're not rolling,
who was
right?
this? Yeah, we are. Doesn't matter. Wait, you remember when
Yeah.
Nicholas, when we were
Counting
doing
up.
the yellow card one, and we
Yeah.
told Nicholas to count us in, and see what he did is he counts down, right? Where did you start from?
One.
From three? From three? Nicholas starts from
counted up.
1, 2, 3, and I'm like, so
Where did he stop?
exactly. How do we know when you are done? You're just showing off your counting skills there, aren't you?
No, but that was a good one though. Coming up in a few weeks' time. Anyway, that's Zed Podcast. My name is K Plus with the other guy.
Yeah.
Your name.
The other guy.
This is where you give us your name.
It's the other guy.
The other guy? All right,
It's the
cool.
other guy.
This is going to be a very interesting episode. I think this is the most Christian this podcast has ever been.
What are you saying about Jimmy K?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. You know, I've been counting. I've been going through all the episodes in my head, and I don't know why that one hasn't popped up. I think this is because it's like 40 episodes ago. I think something like that. Yeah, that was a good one as well. We learned a lot from Jimmy K, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot from our special guest this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your lovely hands together for Chileshe Bwalya. Should I add the Mumba as well?
I guess.
Chileshe Bwalya Mumba. Martin claps today for the first time ever.
Nobody ever impresses him.
Nobody.
Oh,
He
really?
clapped for you.
Oh, wow.
He keeps his hands in his
I'm
pockets.
humbled.
We've had Sampa the Great.
We had to force Martin to
We
clap.
had to force him to clap.
Oh my gosh.
Literally.
She's on Obama's
Somebody actually
playlist.
held his hands and clapped them for him. You know what I mean?
So we have Chileshe here,
Bwalya Mumba. Yeah.
and Chileshe is your first name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
One of you geniuses decided to pick a bar as a venue to shoot this. Bread of Life was not available.
Mount Zion.
We just wanted to show this.
You wanted to show what?
That Christ is everywhere.
Christ is everywhere. He came for the sinners.
I don't know if it's in my house though. I'll tell you that.
Anyway, Chileshe Bwalya Mumba, welcome to that Zed Podcast. And you were telling us
you.
earlier that you've
Yeah.
actually been watching this episode, this podcast.
Yeah, I do watch it.
Why?
Which has been your favorite so far?
I think the one with. I like the one with Sampa.
Sampa the Great was good, okay.
I like the one with Mizukanji also, even though people were like being
Yeah.
very controversial
You know,
about it.
I think I'll take this opportunity to talk about that episode for a little bit. The funny thing about that episode is the juiciest parts of that episode were cut out because we lost sound. Remember?
So what the fuck is it going?
Where's Martin?
This is exactly what happened. See what just happened? This is exactly what
This is
happened.
exactly what happened in the Muziganji episode. Martin
just
walked off
disappeared.
Walked out.
and
Exactly,
the
just
sound
like he's
recording
done now.
stopped. So
shame.
So we lost out on
Does he have to
nearly
have
an
his finger
hour.
on a button?
we have to what?
Does he have to have his finger on a button?
No, but he has to make
No.
sure that.
That it's
If anything
running
cuts,
and
he
it's playing.
Yeah.
brings it back
Okay.
to life quickly. You know what I
And
mean?
he
So we
signals
lost
you.
out on an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
So
Yeah.
people think that just the whole back and forth with the Yo Maps issue was
Is
the
all we
only
had.
thing
Yeah.
that we spoke about. No,
Right.
we spoke about a lot more. But
But we can't blame the people. All they're gonna judge that episode
is
with
based
is
off
what
what
they
they
saw.
see.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So anyway, to start this episode, I wanna talk about how I first got to know about your music.
Right.
And my sister lived in Botswana for I think 10, 12 years.
and you lived in Australia.
Nah, I've never lived in Australia, just visited, bro.
Isn't that you?
Yeah, he lived in Belgium, so it's an issue. He
okay.
wants us to be like him. So my sister living in Botswana for like 10, 12 years, and when they came back, my niece was I think 4 or 5 years old, and anytime, because remember the DVD players were still like a thing back then,
Right.
2010, 2011, somewhere there. DVD players were still like a major thing in every home, and every time she would wake up and she would find me listening to my music, she would always interject and ask me to put Chileshe Bwalya music there.
Oh, wow.
And she was so small. And I dedicate this episode to her because I know she's going to watch
that
this
is
one to the
so
fullest.
sweet.
Yeah, so she would always force me to listen to Chileshe Bwalya. I don't think to myself, which Kalindula artist is this now? You know what I mean?
Kalenga, can I ask you something?
Yeah, please do.
Why do you always have a story about every single guest we have?
It's a good place to start, isn't
Every
it?
single guest is like, so let me tell you this one
tell you a
time.
story. So, listen.
I bumped. have you noticed that? Every single guest. I cannot wait until we
have a stranger.
No.
Oh, Chris, the Chris episode.
I was
That's a
about to
stranger
say, until we have the president, then I remembered you supposedly flew in the same plane as him.
Yeah, we were on the same flight to South Africa at some point before he became president. Anyway,
Okay.
Clearly a people person.
Yeah, I am a people person. So she forced me to listen to this CD,
Oh, wow.
and the first song that plays, and it's still my favorite gospel song to this day, Tefionali.
Oh, wow.
I need to ask this before we get into the episode. How much of your life is that song talking about?
Except the bit where it says, you
were not married then,
at the time,
yeah.
yeah. But the rest of it is absolutely me.
So you were an alcoholic? Pretty much?
Yeah.
Drunkard,
Yeah,
not alcoholic?
I
Are you
was
still
partying
out?
No, I haven't
But you
taken.
drink alcohol though.
I haven't taken alcohol in over 12 years.
Let me tell you I had my first drink on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Surprisingly good
As in first time in your life.
in my life.
Why though?
Yeah, why even start at this
Yeah.
age?
Because it was in church, it was Holy Communion.
Oh,
I don't know
Was
why
it
you
even
guys-
alcohol?
Yeah, it was wine. It was wine. I don't know why you guys.
Real
oh,
wine?
are you even sure? You've never tasted alcohol before, so are you even sure it was alcohol?
Exactly. It could have been grape juice.
I didn't send you the
Exactly,
picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was wine because they said there were two.
It could have been non-alcoholic.
Exactly,
wine.
you know what I mean?
There were two. There were
it
like
does have
there was
a
grape
tendency
juice and there
Yeah.
was wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that it was. See, there you go.
Oh, they actually segmented it. Said grape
Yeah,
juice.
yes. They said there's grape juice and there's wine, so I said I'm
Wow.
gonna take the wine.
So how did you feel with that one shot of
I felt the burn down my throat,
Yeah.
and it like settled
your
on my
brain?
chest.
Did you feel any changes
Nah, I
in your behavior? Inhibitions, maybe?
I don't
You
know.
felt you could now speak your mind more?
That would have been just the demons being disturbed.
Anyway, Chileshe, we're talking about that song. Because for me,
Definitely.
that song, I think, changed a lot of people. Because
yeah.
it was a testament of,
Where I'm coming.
where you're coming from and a
Yeah.
place that many people are in their lives or have been. And I could relate as well because let's just say the song was relatable.
Right.
So where were you when that song, happened?
I mean, I had just gotten saved like 2 years prior
Right.
to writing that song.
Yeah.
I was the black sheep of the family. I was the wild child.
You were the
know,
soul.
I always like to say my dad would always be like, "Wapangwa shani kanshi." I don't even know what that means. Yeah. So I was that child. I mean, there's a backstory to all of it,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, at some point I just started to feel like life is becoming purposeless. I'd go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday sometimes.
Yeah.
Monday you wake up, go to work, and you're like, okay, what's the point of all of this? Like, what is the end game? And then also I had really, really wanted to start a career in music because I was always recognized for singing, birthday parties, church,
Yeah.
everywhere. But every time I had an opportunity to go to the studio, something just blocked that.
Wait, at this
chance.
point, when you go to the studio, were you working on secular songs?
So I wanted to.
Yeah?
I really wanted to just be really big in secular music. And I remember meeting TK, and he had invited me to his studio. And I think my granddad or somebody died the day I was supposed to go to the studio.
Yeah.
I did Teen Star, movie TV. I got really close to the final. I got sick. My allergies kicked in, and I just couldn't perform well. And everybody was just like, "You really need to record. You really need to record." But then I believe now God blocked those avenues because He really just wanted me to get to this point. Because I had gone through a phase where I didn't go to church for like 2 years. And then one night I got frustrated. I hadn't prayed even in 2 years. So my mom was always the type of person who, when we go to the club, come back at 4 a.m. She's praying. And you want to sleep,
Hearing somebody speaking in tongues in the next room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh my God. But I mean, she was praying for us. So at some point, this one night, I got up. She's fast asleep. It's midnight. I didn't go out that weekend.
Yeah.
And I started to pray. I'm like, okay, God, if you're really there, can you hear me? Like, what's the whole point of this gift that you've given me if I can't use it?
Yeah.
You know, I want to be famous, you know, do something.
Yeah.
And then I heard a voice tell me, open the Bible. I didn't even own a Bible. So I got my mom's Bible. And then the first thing I saw when I opened the Bible was Psalm 96, and it said, sing to the Lord a new song. And that was like clear cut for me. Like, this is what God wants me to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
God and his recruitment tactics, eh?
Yeah.
You take me back to the book of,
Here
the
we
story
go.
of Saul. The story of
Here we
Saul and
go.
how he was converted to become Paul. He was
Right.
knocked off the back
Right.
of a horse with a light from heaven,
Least
right?
expected person.
So for you just kept putting things in your way to prevent you from doing secular music.
Right.
Look at you today.
How did you know that?
Right.
How do I know the story? It's in the Bible. It's in a book called the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible it's a book.
Read the book
Right.
of Acts.
Yeah, it's written on the cover. It says Holy Bible.
Right.
And there's so many like there's all these authors who've written so many books and
What
they
is
put
the
them in
book
one
about?
book. Chileshe, as you were saying.
I really like to know.
No, but you really should read the book of Acts.
Yeah, you should.
And Paul's story. It's really interesting because Paul used to persecute Christians. He was killing Christians. And then he ended up being one of the greatest apostles in the Bible.
You spoke of being saved.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a script for her?
No.
Okay. You spoke of being saved
Yes.
because even if we did, I hardly ever read it.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So that is me giving my life to God, changing my life, being
Right.
transformed.
So is there like a ceremony, or do you just like have a conversation with him?
You pray. You pray to God and confess that He is your Lord and personal Savior. And it starts there.
That's just between you and him.
Yeah.
No need for third, fourth, fifth people.
Sometimes there will be, because there's people they'll make altar calls in church after a sermon. Sometimes you have a conversation with a person who will lead you to Christ, but sometimes it can just be you and God.
So what
alone.
happened? What happened for you to? What, alcohol became too expensive? Like I can't afford this.
I actually
Johnny Walker anymore.
So I actually stopped taking alcohol, I think a year before I got saved. I stopped drinking because I just felt like it became pointless for me. The intoxication, being tired the next day, the hangovers, I just got fed up. And even that, honestly, I believe there's certain encounters I came to have later on that I believe God wanted me to be sober, to believe that it was really God speaking to me in those circumstances. Because when I actually stopped going to the club,
Yeah.
very sober, I don't even know if you want to hear this story.
wanna hear
Please, that's what we're
I'd
here.
like to hear this.
That's what the podcast is about. Yeah.
My birthday, 2012. My
Yeah.
birthday, we decided, my brother really wanted to take me out. So I'm like, okay, cool. We went to a restaurant. And I'm like, I'm not drinking. It's fine. We ate. Went to another place, went to a club. And I really convinced myself it's okay for me to be here. This is after I've already given my life to God and dedicated my life to serving God. So we go to the club and I'm really telling myself, no, it's okay for me to be here. And while we're there, I'm standing in front of a lady seated at a table. And then I see this creature come. I like the look on your face. So I see this thing come out of her and it sort of like sits next to her. Then it basically starts to gesture. Like everything it was doing, she was doing. If it's picking up the bottle, if it's picking up a cigarette, whatever it is that she was basically mimicking what this thing was doing. Pretty much it's like it's controlling her actions. And then on top of that, these three guys came and passed in front of me. And I always laugh about this because it was like the Matrix. You know how whenever he would...
Dodge bullets and stuff. Yeah.
So this last guy passes in front of me, and then these three creatures again sort of like come out of him and then quickly go back in him. So I'm telling my friend now, I'm like, guy, we need to get out of here. Something weird is happening. And he's like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know, but we can't be here right now. Then after that, I start to see like it's demons, obviously, all around the place. And that was the last time I stepped foot.
Had you
in
been
a club.
drinking before you saw?
No, I was completely sober.
Very sober.
No hallucinations.
I had
sober
stopped
as
drinking
me.
a year prior to that.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's the last time you ever entered the club.
that was the last time I
So
entered
do you
the
see
club.
anything sitting next to me right now?
Just checking.
Just checking.
No, I mean, obviously now I'm at a point where I commune with God differently. There's certain things God will show you at certain times just to make you understand why he's trying to move you from certain places. So if there's something God wanted me to see about your life and he wanted me to minister to you, he'll show me in a dream, he'll show me in a vision.
So nothing came? Dololo.
Right now, no. You're safe. You're safe.
So did you speak to anybody about this? About
Yeah.
what you saw that
Yeah.
night? Or that same evening?
Yeah, I spoke to my friends, I spoke to the people I was
Like
with.
on your drive back home?
Yeah. And I'm like, look, guys.
Did they believe you?
Everybody got saved. Everybody.
they believe you?
The whole group of people, we all
And
got.
the lady?
I don't know her.
You're like, no, that looks like a personal battle. I'm not getting involved in this shit.
I mean, I didn't know who she was.
But did you need to
I
know who she was in
I
order for
don't
you to tell?
I just needed to see what I needed to see and get out of that place.
Which begs another question.
Mm-hmm.
You know this whole Kanye West song, Jesus Walks, where he says, next time I'm in a club, everybody's screaming out. If you are, not you, if Christians, pastors, priests are going to wait for people to walk into church in order for them to help them, that sort of defeats the purpose, right?
Right.
Because the people who actually need saving are not in church.
Out there, right.
Right. So that's what I don't get.
That's what we're about to do.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get why people would. I just lost what I wanted to say because of your dumbass.
I
comments.
mean, the Bible says, "Go ye forth and preach the gospel." So it's not about church is like, it's like the place where you go to seek your comfort, to seek to learn also,
Right.
to learn more and all of that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, every Christian individual, there's a point that me and my husband have. Everywhere we go, whenever we have an opportunity, even if it's in a supermarket, if we have an opportunity to tell somebody, even just to say Jesus loves you, we will do that. Because it's not about waiting for a person. It's not about inviting a person to church. It's about
Right.
letting them know that Christ is everywhere and he loves you.
regardless of where you are, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I never understood.
Right.
For
So
a person who used to take alcohol the way you used to,
I started when I was 13.
13. Who gave you this alcohol?
Christ.
Before we start incriminating people here,
Yeah, but I want to know how would
I'm
you get
curious.
alcohol?
Yeah.
at
Oh,
13?
no names mentioned, but how did you?
I was hanging out with the wrong crowds.
Oh,
Wow, so it
right.
was
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, not obviously not. It's not like my friends were forcing me to do it, but people knew people who were connected to where we could get alcohol. So
And where would you get money?
lunch money,
Turned into
or
beer
they'll buy
money.
it for us. Yeah. So whoever we're hanging with will buy the alcohol. There's always that guy.
Oh, and would you get like shit faced?
Drunk.
Thank you for the interpretation.
So I'm translating. I'm translating it from Elson to English. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would.
Really, really.
And would you go back home like that, or you're like really good at pretending like you're?
I think I'm assuming I was really good at pretending, but I feel like I feel like my parents knew to an extent. Yeah. I think when I was younger, I would try, like, would start maybe. Sorry, Dad. But some days skip school, so you kind of like drinking from the morning. So by the time you're getting home, you're kind of like sobering
Right,
up.
right.
Yeah. And then as we grew older, like when I was in high school, my
Still some crazy
my
ass shit.
teachers are probably gonna see this and be like, oh my gosh. But yeah, we would go to, because I was at Kablonga Girls for high school, and there's a place called Malata where we
That's
would
right
source.
opposite my church.
Yeah.
Kablunga Girls.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So we'd go and source alcohol from there, and normally would buy like gin, because it's like clear. Or
You can
vodka.
hide it in a bottle like this.
Yeah, so we'd buy Sprite and mix it with the Sprite. So we'd walk into class and have it there. And my classes were near the labs, so there was always
The
that.
chemical smell from the lab.
Right. So we always had that excuse. And sometimes we'd be in class. I mean, I'm not proud of it.
It's a
but
testimony. It's
at
what
the-
you came from. This is your life.
So it was that bad. It was.
I don't
really-
think it's that bad. I mean, you did break laws.
Yeah.
Break laws. broke rules, school rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not encouraging.
But I like
any
that
young
because it gives you
people
personality.
to do that. Yeah.
It gives you personality. I was saying to Kalenga when I was on the phone, that's a big part of why I took Kirk Franklin seriously, because he said whatever demons that he faced, whether he was a Christian or before he became a Christian, he was addicted to porn.
Right.
So I don't understand people that because they're saved, they never want to tell that part of who
the
they
story.
were.
Yeah. No, I mean, we overcome by the word of our testimony. So if you testify, you're helping somebody out there, because there's people who just don't know how to get out of it. And if I don't talk about how I got out of it, how am I going to help the next person? I can't just act like it never happened. I never lived that life. It's there. It happened.
Interesting girl.
So I was what was the question again? I was asking earlier about, you being the Christian that you are today, staunch Christian, your music touches many people's lives, and coming from a background where you were not necessarily an alcoholic, but a drunk, patronizing pubs and all that. What are your opinions on alcohol today, especially Christians and alcohol?
There's always a debate when it comes to alcohol, because people will say, no, Jesus turned water into wine. There's no way it says don't drink. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about the influence that it has on you. Right. First of all, alcohol is a spirit. Why is it called a spirit? First, when you, as a spiritual person, for me, that's like a red flag to start with. The influence that it has on you, it affects your mindset, it affects your thinking, the things that happen. Oftentimes when people get intoxicated to a certain extent, you don't really have control over the things that you're doing. When I look back at the things I did when I was drunk, the things I said, the things, the places I went to, it just never did anything good for me. So I just don't encourage it, because you can be happy, you can have a good time, you can enjoy life without being drunk.
You've just described cough syrup there. Because if you take enough of it, it will do exactly what you've just said.
I mean,
so my point is, if taken in moderation, do you get what I mean?
When I take Benylin, for example, it knocks me out.
Right.
And even it will tell you to rest, avoid driving, avoid doing certain things.
On the box,
For me, it makes me hallucinate even. So, but that's for medicinal purposes. If I'm taking it for recreational purposes, what is it that the alcohol is doing for me that I can't do without it? Like, why can't we sit down and have a good time and have a good conversation without me being intoxicated?
Yeah. So again, apart from cough syrup, you can say the same thing about weed as well. Unless it's taken in moderation, weed is also used to cure,
for medicinal purposes.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Almost every drug that people are taking out there, even alcohol in the hospital, it's there. They use it for cleaning, for sanitizing, and all of that. But you take it, you it affects your mindset, and at the end of the day, you wake up the next day, you don't know what you get. You could get sick, you could have killed somebody on the road.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Something you want to tell us?
No, I haven't killed anyone.
Because this is a very specific example.
No, I haven't killed anybody, but
I've been a driver the cops have been looking for years.
I've seen too many accidents because of drunk driving. So I mean, even just me being on the road and watching people swerving all over.
Jinimbi as well was a result of drunk driving.
Alcohol.
Exactly.
On this episode, I'd really love to get Chileshe's life story through photos that we've picked up from all over the place. And I'll show you some of your own photos. Okay. You're going to tell us the story behind.
You need to wipe your screen, please.
This photo here.
That was the day my husband proposed. Oh,
why did you cry so much?
I cried so much because I was not.
This is one of those like really ugly Viola Davis snot coming out of your nose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, I cried so much that he got up to console me and then had to get back down on his knees. I cried so. I wasn't.
You never experienced it.
Where was this?
This was Fallsway Apartments. So this was the day they were shooting my Ambuye
Apartments?
Ngenani video.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Fallsway Apartments.
Fallsway Apartments.
There's rooms there.
The-
Yes.
so listen. I have a song called Ambuye Ngenani, right? Yes.
Blazer production,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And it was shot at the apartment. So the
Right.
apartment was hired specifically for the video shoot.
Right.
Not what else I was thinking.
No.
Yeah.
So that particular day, I was told to stay home. I was just told, you're not involved in today's shoot. Just stay home, stay in prayer, focus on that. I remember having a radio interview, which I went for and went back home. And then later in the evening, my parents had even come in town. Later in the evening, I had a dinner date with a friend of mine who was just like, look, I just want to celebrate what God is doing for you and wada. So I'm getting ready and my mom's like, do you really want to wear that dress? I'm like, okay.
She was in on it.
Yeah. I mean, he had spoken to my parents and
Oh, he had
all of
told
that.
them?
Yes. Everybody knew except me.
you.
Yeah.
They could plan your murder so easily.
Right? Yeah. So we set off to go for dinner, and then we bypass the apartments.
Yeah.
So I'm even telling her, oh, they're shooting, da da da. And she's like, oh yeah, I need to pick up something from the woman of God. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we get there, and I wanted to stay in the car. So she says, no, but you need to come and say hi. There's people from church and whatnot. Why don't you come? I'm like, no, but they told me not to, be here today. But anyway, let me come out. I put on my shoes, went out, and she knocked at the door. They tell us to come in. Next thing, there's cameras in my face. And then I see my husband there. So I'm like, wait, what is that?
Boyfriend at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is happening? So I started to cry. I couldn't believe it. They had so many pictures hanging on balloons, like hundreds of pictures. It was very beautiful. I just had absolutely no idea that.
How long had you dated by then?
That was December 2014. We started dating September. We started our courtship September 5th, 2013.
So like a year.
So
Just
like
Yeah.
a few days over a year.
Yeah.
And you crying this much, yo.
I cried so much.
It was like Viola Davis in Fences. Remember that scene where
Everybody
she's
was just
crying?
like,
Lucas all over the
that
place.
was me.
That was
I
you.
ruined my makeup and all
Yeah.
of that. I couldn't believe. I just really, really didn't expect it. And what's weird is, I think like 3 or 4 months before that, he just came one day and he's like, look, I don't need you touching my phone. So I'm like, where's this
That
coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just need you to trust me and just, we don't need to be checking each other's. I mean, not like we used to check each other's phones actively or whatever, but he just.
It was just random.
Yeah, it was very random that he came and said that. So I left it because obviously I trusted him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was planning this the whole time.
And this humility here.
Wait. Before we go there, still on the proposal.
yeah.
As a guy, you have to be extremely confident that your girl's gonna say yes.
You call everyone to come and witness this.
There was a lot of people actually.
Fam.
Because
Because that
what if
cry,
she said no?
that's my point is, if I were that dude and a girl cries that hard, I'd be like,
So
no.
So backstory to when we got into courtship. We agreed that, this is the beginning of our journey. Everything else is just a part of the process. So for better, for worse, for us started.
Before.
Yeah. It
The
was
marriage.
at that point. So we knew that. I remember him coming to share with me after going through seven Habits of Highly Effective People, Franklin Covey.
No.
You haven't?
No,
Okay.
no.
You
That's not the author.
No?
No.
Stephen
Covey.
Stephen Covey. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he came to share with me after the training, and one of the habits is begin with the end in mind.
That's the seventh.
Right.
That's the sixth habit.
That was the
Yeah.
principle that we decided to stand on in our relationship. Like, we need to know. We're
Begin
not
with the
going to
end in
get into
mind, yeah.
this for let's see where it's going. We need to know where we're going, as opposed to let's try it out for a little bit. And
Yeah.
so from day one we knew that this is where we're going. So that's why I guess he was confident.
so in this courtship or in this process, what are you looking for? Do you have deal breakers that you say, okay, fine, in the journey of us courting,
You're quoting him.
Right.
If I find A, B, C, and D out, I can deal with this.
I think our biggest deal breaker was walking away from God. Yeah, choosing to go back into the
But
world.
why is that a deal breaker? Why can't you help reel the other person in?
Because, I mean, you can. Obviously, if I see my partner going a certain way, before I just say it's over, it's done, I'm going to try and help them. But if they choose that this is the life that I completely want, I don't want... What if he just decides I want to be atheist? Then I can't really, do anything at that point. I can help him as a sister in the Lord, but not as a partner. Does that make sense? I can still help him.
No, not really.
I can help him from the sidelines. Because
Not as a partner.
Not as a partner.
Why?
Because remember when you go back to the Bible, it says submit to your husband as unto Christ. So meaning your partner must have Christ. Me as a believer, submission is going to be easier if my partner knows God and has a relationship
So
with
he
God.
must fight his own battle,
He's not
find Christ, and when he's found him,
He find me again.
So I can help him on that journey, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to play God hoping that...
You can't change him.
Right.
no, but you're not hoping anything. That's what faith is, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're married, it's a different story. I have to fight through it. But if I'm at a point where we have not committed to each other...
Even your breakup will not anger
Right.
God because it's not a divorce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have the opportunity now to walk away from this situation because I know that this is
Yes.
not going to align with the
haven't
assignment that
committed
God
before
has
God.
for me. Right.
So
Right.
moving
But
on to the next photo. Your humility here.
that's just who I am.
Come on, man. You did say you were an extrovert.
Is that him?
Yes, that is him.
You were too chilled for the Chileshe we know today.
I mean, the whole kitchen party scenario is just always a little bit intimidating.
What's up with these traditions and you always have to face down, don't look at the audience, don't look at
Weirdly, I was laughing the whole time. I
Serious?
think I just got intimidated when I saw him because we're friends.
Yeah.
So I was scared of just, doing or saying something that would make us look disrespectful.
Yeah, and then Manachimbo will be looking at you like, hey.
What's going on? So I was really trying to be like, stay calm, just be normal. There's adults around. Yeah.
So this is your pretend serious face.
You can call it that.
Yeah.
Have you heard guys that wear checker shirts like these are the masters at giving excuses when it comes to paying for bills?
The Malcolm shirts.
Very funny, no.
But this was a happy day for
Well,
you.
you
Kitchen
never used to be
party,
frugal when you guys were Was money ever an issue?
No. Eh?
Never was.
No.
Finances are one of the biggest
Issues.
Issues. Yeah.
So how come yours? How come in your situation it never was?
It's not something I was looking for in a partner.
Nobody ever is. Let me tell you something. One more time,
Preach.
When it is there, it is never a problem. Kind of like when you get into a car and you want to drive to Manda Hill, you don't really care about the mechanics of a car, the tires, the wheels, and everything. It's moving. It's perfect. But when one of the tires goes out, that then becomes a hindrance in you getting to where you want to go. So in what you're saying, it's whether you go in looking for it or not, unless if it wasn't there, where you now have to finance everything, where he had to borrow the money from you to put this proposal together, etc. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you'll be like, yeah, fine, I was not looking for the money, but now this is a
We
problem.
need the money.
Right.
Besides, Ecclesiastes says money answers all things.
I mean, it's not like we have never disagreed where
Yeah.
finances are concerned, but at the end of the day, is it something that we're going to allow to be a factor that will destroy our relationship? Is there a way that we can work? I mean, if we can find a solution to whatever problem it is that we have, I'd rather we find the solution than me sit there fighting him and him fighting me. Yeah.
So finances were never a deal breaker.
No.
The faith was.
Yeah.
Okay.
We work together. He covers me whenever he can't. I chip in if I have to. But at the end of the day, we're a team.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this. The award.
Which one is that?
Unity Finance
I don't
Best
have my
Female
glasses.
Artist 2018 Courtship Music Awards.
That was
Yeah.
very shocking. That
Serious?
particular one was extremely shocking.
How so?
Because the year prior, I had won Song of the Year for Tefenali.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because of the category that I was on, the artist that I was with, I traveled even. I went to Livingston. I said, I'm not gonna. I have another event. I won't be able to attend this. And besides, I just
I'm
felt
not
like
winning.
I'm not winning this.
Wait, who was in the category?
So there was that
made you lose all this
Cleo,
confidence.
There
Yeah?
was Mumpy. There
It wasn't like a strictly gospel category.
No, there was the big secular artist on that category. So I was like, yeah, this is gone. So when I got the call at that I had won the award, I was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
And I left town because I thought I was not going to win this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did this come with money?
Yeah.
Oh, they come with money?
They
Yeah,
come with
this one
money.
was sponsored by Unity Finance. So yeah.
So how much
they
money?
should've.
How much money did you get for this?
That one, I think 12,000 kwacha.
Not bad.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
It's not bad. You're not embarrassing them, so it's so good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it came with some fair money. I mean, there's been awards that haven't come with money. So.
Right.
Yeah, most of them in
Yeah.
Zambia don't.
There's a lot
so.
of controversy apparently with these Kwacha Awards this year. I've seen that on social media.
Serious, huh?
Yeah.
You've seen that too, right?
I have, but I mean, I haven't really followed it. I've been avoiding social media a lot.
You know, this is how I get most of the news from you nowadays, because I think all I do is just post and leave. Yeah, sometimes I get scared of, getting contaminated with too much info that,
Right.
is not of any benefit to me.
Well, seeing how you've got a new iPhone now, I'm sure you'll be.
Oh yeah, courtesy of EMARC. I have a new iPhone. Thank you.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Hook a sister up with EMARC.
EMARC. Emmanuel, I'm very sure Emmanuel is watching this. So Emmanuel, you've heard. And Emmanuel listens to gospel music more than
Oh, yeah?
anything else. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
sure he's heard what
Have
you
you
just
heard
said.
the new single?
Emmanuel, have you heard the new single? I'm sure he has.
Have you heard the new
No, I
single?
haven't. I told if it will be.
You should.
You want him to burst into flames?
I was pregnant.
Doesn't this remind you of 90s R&B songs?
It does.
Can you stand the rain? What's going on here?
This is a song called Agam Ajagima. So I feature
Sounds
a
Nigerian.
Nigerian artist on this song. So yeah, I was pregnant.
And standing in the rain.
Yeah.
You really care about your health, don't you?
It was manufactured rain.
Oh, manufactured rain.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
So-
Like a hose pipe.
Yeah. But we did a good job. We did. Brian, you did a good job.
Big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Big deal graphics,
Big deal
Brian.
graphics.
You
So
did
he
this,
did
yeah.
a great. He's been amazing. He's been amazing. I think he's done most if not all of
Yeah,
my
I think all of your videos, yeah. I've
Yeah.
noticed that. And Ben did most of your...
Most of my music.
Yeah.
Which Ben?
Ben Blazer.
Ben Blazer.
not
Make
Lombe.
him bows.
Yeah, Ben Lombe.
Precisely. I need to know these things.
Why?
You are useless.
Why?
Ah, crap. So
Yeah.
anyway, still... Look at our friends.
White House.
Look at that.
When we
What's the story
went,
behind this?
All you can tell us is
unfortunately,
Australia
I know, right?
and kangaroos.
Trump was in the White House at the time, and they had put the barricade, so you couldn't get really, really close to the fence. Sadly, and even just getting in was a problem at the time. You'd have to book maybe 2 months prior
To take a photo at the fence, like
to
this.
go inside. Yeah,
Right.
So we
What
couldn't
do you
go
think of
inside.
Trump?
Huh?
What do you think of Trump?
I don't like politics, so I don't like to comment.
No, him
on
as a
what-
person.
I mean, we all have our flaws. Yeah, I'm sure to some people, there's people who really love him, who've experienced a really good side of him. But I mean, from what I've seen through the public, there's a good and a bad side.
I like Trump.
So,
What?
I like Trump.
yeah, but I
To me,
don't
his-
like politics. So
To me, Trump is a symbol
Excuse me?
Yeah, I do like Trump.
Why?
What's not to
I
like
like
about
that
Trump?
he was Christian.
He's a racist, for one.
But the racism, yeah, that was an
I
issue.
overlook all that, man. Look, for me, I've read a lot of Trump's books. And what I pick up from Trump is a guy who goes after what he wants, and I want to be that kind of person as well. So for that, I like Trump.
You
I mean,
have
we can learn something from
exactly
everybody.
from everybody. I mean, people learn something from you. Look at you.
wait.
What is that
Hold on.
supposed to mean?
Look.
There's people who don't like
let
me.
Let me not get into this with you now.
Yeah, there's people who don't
true.
like me.
Exactly.
Hitler went after what he wanted, which were countries that don't belong to him. So you admire him too?
No, Hitler's a different
How?
case, man. He killed Jews.
Again, just like Trump is a racist,
Nah, it's different.
Hitler went after what he wanted because
Okay, look,
the one quality that you said was he went after what he wanted.
Are we turning this into a debate?
No,
over Hitler and Trump?
I want to hear this because I'm shocked you actually said you like Trump.
I like Trump.
Why?
I've learned a lot from him, from his books.
Like what?
I've already explained
That he went after
business, how to run a business and things like that. Trump is a very good business.
Firstly, do you know he filed for bankruptcy a couple of times?
And wouldn't you want to learn how to come back from bankruptcy?
Did he come back from it?
He has, hasn't he? He even ruled a country.
Firstly,
Okay, you know what?
wait. Before we go there, firstly, you know how he stole money in the pretense of trying to get money to recount elections?
How many people just wake up and say, I'm going to be president, and they become president of the most powerful country on this planet?
When
He
you
did it.
realize that half the country is as racist as you are, you know the buttons to push.
Look,
you
racism-
know that Hitler was not even German. You know that, right?
Austrian. I know
He
that.
was Austrian, but
I
he
know
knew
that.
what to say to Germans to become popular. That's
Okay,
number one.
we'll continue this
Number two,
debate
wait. Number two, to become a president is a popularity rate. It's just being the most popular. So whether
black
you
people
believe
voted for Trump as well.
in what you're saying or not, say what you think most people would want to hear. He is a racist. He ran on the whole Mexican thing.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Nah,
We'll build a wall. What are we doing in America, by the way?
We had a mini tour, I'd call it. We had shows in like 3 states. I went with Ephraim. Yeah. It was called the Agape Glory Encounter. Yeah, so we did Maryland. We went to Texas and Pennsylvania.
and you came
Pittsburgh.
back.
I mean,
Do like Zimbabweans when they go into another country. Be like a Zimbabwean. We are this photo.
I had a caption to that. I can't remember what
I
it
can
was.
remember what the caption was. Allow me to read it.
What was
The caption read, sometimes the devil doesn't even need to send his minions to cause hatred and negativity. He just sits there saying, wait, freedom of expression will handle this one for us. Hey, guys, let's spread love.
Yeah, this was probably a situation where somebody was ranting and hurting other people, and I'm just like,
Who was that?
sometimes I can't remember.
Is
That
it
was
a
a long.
female or a male?
Honestly, I cannot remember. But
Yeah.
one thing I do know is people like freedom of expression.
Yeah.
We can abuse it sometimes. And even when people just comment on even your posts, you guys,
Yeah.
people will say whatever they want to say, but nobody ever sits down to consider
Who are
how
these
is this,
people?
yeah, how is this going to affect the person I'm saying this to? And that's what I meant, basically. Sometimes the devil is just like, yeah, freedom of expression.
let them mess each other
just hate each other, yeah.
But I don't see why or how that's bad, because you then get to know exactly who somebody is.
I mean, you do, but
You might
then
not
where
agree
is
with it.
empathy?
Okay, when someone holds back from saying you're fat, but they think it, they believe it, would you rather not know that that's what this person thinks of me?
I think there's always a good way to say there's always a good way to say whatever it is that you want to say about somebody or to somebody, and a good time also. So you can be expressing something good, but at the wrong time. You can be expressing something at the right time, but just not in a good way.
So it's not really the freedom of expression that is terrible. It is just the
Sit
wisdom
down, yeah.
in knowing.
Sit down, think about what you're gonna say, how you're gonna say it, how it's gonna affect the person that
Yeah.
you're saying it to. Me and my husband have conversations about body weight, and I've told him.
I don't mean you, by the way, when I spoke about weight.
I know,
So
but
it's shocking to know that you actually had a
these
no, we
conversations at home,
do
yeah.
have these conversations.
Yeah.
I've had to, because after I had my son, I gained a lot of weight, and I felt the shift, how it affected our relationship. And I'm very realistic about this, because he may not have consciously realize that maybe the PDA has reduced a little, but it did. And he would still tell me you're beautiful and all of that, but maybe he just won't hold
something else.
Right. And we had to have the conversation, and I also had to accept it in myself and say, look, when he met you, you were a size 8. Now you're a size 14 or going on 16.
Yeah.
He was attracted to you at size 8. Maybe he just doesn't see you the same. There's things that you're going to have to work on. Sometimes it's even just the confidence in yourself that will make a person change how they feel about you. So maybe because I kept putting myself down, that kind of affects him negatively. He's really trying to be like, oh, baby, you're beautiful. And I'm there like, oh, no, but I'm fat. I don't fit anything. And it, so we've had to have these conversations where I ask him, what body weight do you prefer? Because I can work on it and I can get to that. And even though people will say it's your body, do what you want and whatnot, I still go back to scripture, which says, commit your body to your spouse. Your body belongs to your partner. His body belongs to me. So
was he honest enough to tell you what kind of a body he wants? He prefers.
Yeah.
He was. What was
like
it?
Now I've been trying to lose weight, and he's just like, I want you like this. I like you with, yeah. Like, don't lose you tell me don't lose too much weight because I'm okay with you like this. And same thing with him. Like I told him how I feel and how I like him, and he's pushed a whole lot harder than me, and now he's just like, damn, boy.
Do you believe?
So
one of my sisters was fat growing up, and I would sugarcoat it. But do you believe there are people that if you sugarcoat stuff, you're aiding into it?
What do you mean when you say sugarcoat?
Right. So maybe don't eat as much type of thing, or try and cut down on the carbs as a substitute of saying you're fat, rather than just going straight to the point and saying, hey, listen, you're fat.
I think sugarcoating would be, no, you're okay.
Yeah,
right, you're fine.
I feel like
right, yeah.
I feel like if you go to a person and highlight the disadvantages of them being where they're at and how it affects them and how it affects the people around them, they might look at it from a different perspective, as opposed to just being like, look, cut down on your carbs.
See, again, you're smart because you can read the nuances. You can read between the lines when someone says that.
Right.
But there's some people that are that ignorant that the only thing that they realize is that shock value. And again, going back to Trump, I think it's the only one thing that Trump could have, because Trump was black and white about stuff.
I think it's a culture thing. Even how I'm raising my son, I'm raising him to communicate his feelings, and also be able to receive information when it's given to him, and not just be like shouting and whatnot and always making it seem like I'm the parent, you have to do what I say.
Right.
He should also be able to tell me when I'm wrong, type of thing. But then we've grown up in environments where the person who's on top says something and that's it. And so we become very defensive. And that's why even when you go and have a conversation with a person and say, look, I think it's unhealthy for you to be at this weight. Maybe try and lose a little bit, eat healthier, because, I love you. And I don't want to lose you because you're at risk of getting a heart attack. You're at risk of getting diabetes and all of that. And I wouldn't want to see that for you. People won't take it from a place of love. They'll just become very defensive because of where they're coming from.
Right.
Speaking of her son, he wants a sibling. Now, the funny part about the whole of this sibling story is how they convince him to eat vegetables now. I think I'll let her share the story.
So he really, really wants a sibling because
How old is he?
he's turning 6 next month. All of my siblings, except the one who's not married, all of my siblings' kids they have siblings, siblings. Yeah, so
he's the only one.
He's the only one that's an only child.
Yeah.
So he kind of feels like, and even at school, it's like his friends have younger siblings, older siblings. So he's always coming home and being like, "Mommy, when are we gonna?" One time he drew a cardboard that we were carrying everywhere as his sister. He even had like a smiley face on one side. He had a smiley face on one side and a straight face on the other side, and he'd be like, "This is the sleeping face. This is the."
she's
time
awake.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because he really wants a sibling, now it's one of those things where you're like, if you really want to be a big brother, you have to eat your vegetables. If you want to be a big brother, you have to make your bed, because you're gonna have to be responsible.
Right.
So yeah. So that's how.
So are you guys working at it?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that.
You said that you are or you aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't sit down and have a conversation and be like, look, let's make a baby. So if it happens, it happens.
I don't know if that's how those. I don't know. I've never
It's
married,
been 6
so
years
right
since
now.
we had our last child. Not like we were intentionally avoiding it.
Yeah.
The last 3 years, my husband was in Cape Town for school. And even when he obviously did come back home, we were not intentionally avoiding it. So it's kind of like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
You look like you're happy with just one.
yeah, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with having more kids, but then again, I'm okay with having the one.
The one.
I feel like you need to know your capacity. And after having, I remember I used to pray for twins, and after having Judah,
Yeah.
I was like, Judah, not Judas.
Oh, that's why. Oh man, you read my mind.
That was fast.
You're like the Elson Whisperer now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
after having him, I was like, no, I don't think I can handle twins.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even a troublesome child. It's just
It's
the
work.
toll. I
It is work.
experienced postnatal depression.
Yeah.
So I kind of just felt like I need to be in a mental space where I'm able to handle having a child and also being able to be available for my husband, because there's a phase where you kind of like start to neglect one or the other.
Yeah, true.
And you kind of want to strike a balance. So even going into having another child is like, I need to be ready to handle all of you and give all of you the attention, the love and attention that you need. I have a theory though. I want to raise my kids in a way that they feel loved, but I don't ever want to have my husband feel neglected, because at the end of the day, they're going to grow up and they're going to leave the household and it's going to be me and him. And I don't want to be like, oh
now-
man.
Now let me show this guy some attention. Yeah.
So I want him to always look forward to having me around.
Speaking of the guy, are you guys always just happy when leaving the house for church?
we
That was like a happy dance on the way to church. Yeah.
We were at a wedding, but we do dance a lot. We do dance.
You're going for
We were at a wedding.
the ceremony for the wedding?
Yes.
Right.
We do dance a lot, and we do take like a lot of weird pictures. My husband is just never like, he's a funny guy, so he's always just like doing weird things in pictures. Every time I tell him let's take a picture, he would do something funny, and I kind of just like fused into that energy with him, and I love it.
And then your social media has moved from 80 pin to almost 600,000 followers in a short space of time. What do you think has, caused all that?
Consistency, I guess.
yeah.
I haven't released new music since 2016.
Yeah,
but
that's
I've
the period like your numbers just shot up, like
Yeah.
from 80 to almost 600,000 followers.
I've been trying to be as authentic as possible whenever I post on social media, and just trying to be very relatable,
Yeah.
because being in the music industry, sometimes you can tend to want to be very closed up, but for me it's ministry. So
Yeah.
I'm not just doing music, I'm preaching to the people. So it's like sharing my day-to-day life. And people kind of relate with that.
Yeah.
So they'll come on, and I think there's a point when I started talking about gender-based violence a lot. And no, wait, when I think my numbers grew a lot is when I posted a picture of me and my husband kissing. And yeah, there was like a lot of, there was
Is
that
that the
one. No, this was the comeback.
Your
to,
husband has a weird kiss.
No, that was it was. I mean, there's another picture. Did I have
he loves kissing, eh?
That's the cursor. I thought it was a fly on my forehead. Yeah. We do like to kiss each other, but it's I posted a picture where we were
Each other.
really like
Yeah?
very affectionate with each other.
It was like a deep French kiss.
Sorta, kinda.
Yeah.
And then people got really offended. So I posted the other picture from the wedding, and I was saying, you're okay with seeing like me kissing
from
at
the
the
wedding.
wedding.
Yeah.
But like, what's up with that? Like,
So
my
what was
husband
the-
kisses me in public.
So where was the offense coming from?
It was just like, this is bedroom stuff. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah,
be posting it
gospel
on
artists
social
don't
media.
trust these things. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Hypocrites.
But yeah, I mean, we kiss at the mall. We kiss when we got here. We kissed.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah.
So
Who kissed who?
They kissed.
I kissed my.
Oh,
Oh, she's pointing at me. Yeah, hey, don't be trouble now.
I kissed my husband. So
She makes it like she kissed me.
man, you did that in the promo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a normal thing for me. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but then those people were like, yeah, no, you're a gospel artist, you're Christian, you shouldn't be putting this.
So Christians don't kiss?
I'm like,
Christians
what
are
is
not
happening
supposed to
in your
show
marriages, you
affection.
people? What
Yeah.
is going on?
You're only supposed to have sex in the missionary position. The mouth is only for eating.
Sorry.
Who said that in Museveni?
The mouth's only for eating.
It's only
Yeah.
for eating.
I mean,
It's a special.
enjoy your marriages, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You only.
You've got, this is very random.
Yeah,
You've got very beautiful teeth.
Thank you.
Am I the only person who say this?
No.
Everybody
But
says
thank
this,
you.
right? You should be like the poster child of like
Colgate.
toothpaste.
Yeah.
They're not
Oh.
paying us. Why are you saying the brand name?
It's the most common toothpaste. Zambias called.
Or just black people, every
Yeah.
toothpaste is
Everything is
Colgate.
called
Yeah.
Colgate.
Anything to drink is Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I
Everything
mean?
is called every floor polish is
Cobra.
Yeah.
Remember this issue? People looking at you that way, like Christian, you're not supposed to showing us, bedroom issues. Reminds me of that Steve Harvey joke where he said it was some Christian event, and I can't remember the female artist who was coming on stage, and he said, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember.
And the Christian community looked at him like, "No, that's very unchristian
Like,
of you to
don't do that.
And he got back at them saying, "Why are you Christians so hypocritical?
Right.
You make it seem like sex doesn't even happen to you.
Right.
If no sex is happening in Christian community, where are all these Christian babies coming from? You know what I mean?
Somebody tell
Yeah.
us.
Somebody tell us, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, there's an extent to which you can talk about it.
Yeah.
There's spaces where we can go in depth, like
So
couple circles.
exactly, yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you said, certain things should. My husband is allowed to be affectionate towards me. He's allowed to express himself about me, even if
Yeah.
it's on his social media. So
And he can kiss you whenever he wants,
Yeah.
wherever he wants,
Well,
however he wants.
yeah,
First of all, Badi did Piden Salamu.
paid in full.
He got married before God in church,
Right. Working out.
working out. This happens often.
Used to. Won't lie. I was a gym junkie up until I started slacking when my husband went away, because then it kind
Yeah.
of my schedule was affected because of having to be around early in the morning for my son, school, and all of that. But I'm getting back into the gym I went back last month.
Yeah.
I went for like 2 days and I fell ill. Sorry. I fell ill, so I stopped
Because your
going.
body had to get used to working out all over again.
It wasn't even. I got
Yeah.
a really, really bad flu. So, yeah, it had me really, really
It's the
down.
gym equipment. There's
Yeah.
usually COVID there.
No, but I tested negative for COVID.
Just
What do
like-
you know
so
about
bad.
the gym?
No, what would you know about the gym?
I didn't say shit about the gym because I don't know anything about it.
know stuff about
You
the
are the
gym.
one that's
But
commenting
But yeah,
about
my
it.
husband goes every day, 4 a.m.
4.
Yeah.
She's a bad-
4,
Yeah.
and he's going to the gym.
Wow.
It's good.
Paint and sip. Tell us about this.
This,
Is it like a regular thing in your life nowadays? Painting and sipping. And is this wine? Was it water before
once
this
in a
photo?
while? No, we had that is non-alcoholic wine.
I like
the-
how you have to point and justify what
It's in
that
the
is.
corner. No, this picture also got
Yeah.
me in problems because people started asking, "What are you drinking and whatnot?" Yeah, but anyway,
I'm now. I can only imagine what it's like being a gospel artist. in
I
a
was
country
about to
like
say the
Zambia.
same thing, man.
it's a lot.
I know.
Not only in Zambia, anywhere in the
Anywhere.
world.
Anywhere.
Like, people
Yeah.
always look at you like you have to be
People are
holy all the
always
time.
judging
Like you have to
and
shit roses.
People are always, people are always judging and
Yeah.
and expecting, obviously, which is understandable because
No, it's not.
No, okay, to an extent, when you're a public figure as
Yeah.
a Christian, you are like a Bible to some people. So I also have the responsibility to put myself out there in a certain way, because there are people who have not read the Bible, who will only see. And I'm not pointing fingers.
Yeah. Why are you guilty all of a sudden?
You pointed a whole arm is what you did.
There are people who have not read the Bible.
I have.
It was a gesture.
I'll tell you my favorite verse is Jesus wept.
Which is where?
I have no idea.
John 11:36.
36? Yeah.
Shortest verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John 11:36.
So there's some people too who I'm the only Bible they'll ever read.
True.
So there has to be a balance. But then at the end of the day, people don't go back to scripture to look at certain things. Like a few days ago, last Friday, I posted a video. I was at a radio interview and somebody commented about my nose piercing.
It's not Christian enough. It's unchristian.
It's like, she said something like, a nose ring in church. Anyway, maybe because I'm SDA. So then
Wow.
Sometimes I like to just go to the person's profile before I respond and just see what I'm battling with. And like 90% of this person's, well, not 90%, but most of the pictures is like half naked and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, this is somebody just trying to start drama, and I'm not gonna engage.
Gain some mileage off you,
Yeah, so I just left it.
Judah is 6 years old, and you take him out to play a lot.
Yeah.
How often do you end up having more fun than him at his own? I bring that up because
Oh my God.
how often does this happen?
No, but
Yeah.
like when I play with him at home, we kind of just like play together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like go into kid mode and just play with him, because
For me, this looks like you took your son out to play and you used him as an excuse to play with,
maybe once in a while that will happen.
catch up with
But like, yeah.
things that you missed out on.
No, we went on the trampoline. It was it was a lot of fun. I mean, there's places that's open to adults and children, so you can't really blame me. They allow adults to do these things.
You know how
So
clever she is with the
Very.
excuses. There are places.
She thinks quick on her feet.
Yeah.
but yeah.
The bodyguards. And you spelled not bodyguard, you said bodyguards.
Podcast. Yeah, no, because that's like the Zambian way. The Zambian way. I was in studio. This is at Ben Blazer's studio.
Okay.
Ephraim, God's General, and Bishop Aka, they passed to the studio and we just like had fun. They were like, saying we're here to make sure that you're safe. And they actually, I think I sent this to my husband because they're like, don't worry, we're keeping her safe.
The bodyguards are here.
The bodyguards.
More wine.
Yeah, you look pretty.
Thank you. That was...
It was water before the photo.
No, it
Turned
was,
into wine by some
strawberry
miracle.
dacquari, virgin strawberry
I don't know
dacquari.
why you're explaining yourself here, Chileshe. You
Yeah,
don't need to.
I don't.
No,
Yeah.
I don't need to.
So I mean, now I just like, guys, I don't drink first of all. So
If it's a wine
if
glass.
I mean, I've had water in a wine glass, so I'm that person. I know. Yeah,
You dance often?
I do. I love to dance.
I'd love to see that.
I love to dance. I have a video on my Instagram where I was dancing with my husband. I'm surprised you didn't find that.
No.
One of my reels.
He hasn't known how to use his iPhone yet.
Oh,
There's Instagram there, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Easiest thing. It's actually easier to use on Android. So yeah.
this is me dancing. But this is just like chilled. I can't really dance, by the way.
No, you can. It feels like you're just holding back. You look like you're getting ready to twerk too.
Not in
Alright.
public.
Is this what a normal
but so
studio
you do
session
twerk.
looks like? Hey,
That's on my Instagram.
See?
a whole Pompey song. And yo,
See that?
she's about to start twerking.
See, I told you.
Okay. I wasn't.
You see how she's
Like-
holding back?
I know, right?
This is just like normal.
Oh, so let's see the ones that are not on Instagram.
No. Those
By the way,
those
we
are
are-
for one man only.
By the way, we are at Tangoni Grills in Roma. This is Zambezi Road, right? Yeah, it's in Roma, and
I don't like this road. That road.
you know, like Zambezi. Why?
Because it leads to where my ex used to stay.
Oh,
There had to be
shame.
something. You see, you also have a story. Every time we talk about a location, there's a next story to it.
I don't like
But
it.
anyway, we are at Tangoni Grills, and that's where this
It used
shoot
to
is happening
be
from.
Shaka, right?
It used to be Shaka's Grill.
Right.
yeah. So, you know, if you need a nice place to chill, have drinks, food, there's good food, which we're about to taste, I hope. I hate when restaurants, you order food and start bringing things one at a time. Fork, they bring the salt
It's like trying to
shaker.
calm your heart. Like the food's
The food is
coming.
near.
It's
But you know
on the
the
way.
genuine joy in your face when you see food coming?
It's finally here. I hate when it keeps bypassing your table, though.
So is that your husband?
Yeah.
He's got dreadlocks?
It's got dreadlocks.
He took them out.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Madam, what do we have here? A whole T-bone, fish and chips, T-bone and whatever.
Was this after
It's delicious.
Judah?
Remember, you can also enjoy the same.
Was this after you
at
had your
Tangoni
son?
Grills
Like a
in
little-
Roma.
few months
It's,
ago.
I can't.
Oh, right.
Same road with
Yeah.
MTN HQ. Right. Yeah.
Who do you feel your son takes after?
Yeah.
Well, he looks mostly like his dad.
Let's see a photo of him.
Judah. Yeah.
Hey, he looks naughty as hell too.
He's actually a very good boy. Very, very good boy. I
Well-
mean, he likes to do his stuff and play and all of that, but
We're moving with the photos. Is this what a normal studio session looks like? Like you sit on tables and record
I
your
sit on the
hit
floor.
songs? You sit on the floor.
I like to sit. I like
is
to
a lot
take
of
off
food.
my shoes.
And they hand you the condenser mic on the floor to sing, record your hit songs.
Well,
Yeah.
I will like, for example, that's SSV Studios, but we're like most of my recording is done at Ben Blazer Studios. So when I'm there, I'll get there, take off my shoes,
Yeah.
then we'll record the like sample vocal while I'm on the floor or wherever, and then I will later on go into the booth and record while standing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you have a ritual? I remember I asked Christopher Katonga this, and he thought I meant like some some voodoo
I
shit.
remember.
No.
I think in Africa, whenever we think
When you
ritual,
say ritual,
the
it's
word
like,
ritual
yeah.
was made popular by Nigerian movies. So
Right,
anytime you hear
right.
ritual, it's something evil. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
word ritual was there before Nigerian movies.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yes. Anyway,
popularized.
But it
do you have a method? Do you have a ritual when you before you record?
Mm-hmm.
Some artists smoke weed and they tap into their creative juices.
Right.
Others don't change their socks until the album is done. Yeah, seen it before.
That's
I've seen
weird.
that too.
Okay, so I change my diet. I change my diet when I'm recording. If I'm not fasting,
Are you fasting? There's food here.
no, I will nibble. And then obviously get into studio, pray, then get into the music. Yeah.
How do you record though? Do you wait for something to come to you?
Do I wait for?
Inspiration. to
Inspiration.
So
Or do you say next week Tuesday, I'm gonna have to record something?
like for example, my upcoming album that's like recorded, done and dusted. Sorry, I hate flies.
strike. It's good.
Sometimes I can write a song even here. We're seated here, tap into something and write a song. But if I'm focused on the project, it will go pray about it, write the song, get into the studio. My last recording session was done like a month straight. So I was going to the studio every day, 8 to 8 p.m. sometimes.
Your
Yeah.
husband must be very understanding.
He is. He
Do you wanna
is.
pass me that?
Very, very understanding.
What does he do for a living?
So he is a consultant,
Okay.
HR consultant.
Okay.
I mentioned he had gone to school the last 3 years. Yeah, he's studied industrial psychology, industrial sociology, and organizational psychology.
Fancy.
Sounds deep.
Yeah, so he's in the HR field. Yeah.
HR is never your friend in a company.
No, but what he's studied kind of like has a different approach to how he does HR. He's more invested in the person as not as an, how do I put it? What's the
I
word?
see-
There's a word. It's like he will be more, if for example, you're slacking in your work, right?
Don't try to understand the psychology behind that.
Typical HR is going to come and bring you a notice to say, you're slacking in your work.
Right.
This is your first notice. He will first come to you and sit you down and be like, what is going on? Is everything okay at home? What is it that is affecting your work? How can you do better? What do you think the organization can do for you to make things better for you? Before getting to all of that nasty stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So you kind of...
It's the same day we're twerking.
It was
Yeah, it
not...
is.
Okay, almost.
I was not
Look at the video you just showed us on this.
I was...
Just joking,
I don't
just playing
even
with
know
you.
how to twerk.
Yes. Let me tell you something. You think after you got saved, there's suddenly all that ability just left your body?
It's not for public consumption.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying for him, you could twerk for him.
I mean, I'm not gonna say yes or no.
You guys were in overalls and gumboots. What was happening on this day?
We were shooting a video for Ubuntu. Yeah, that is Mr. Chileshe Bwalya. You may have no. Okay, he runs a cooperative for Zambians come together, put money together, and do business together. So we were shooting a video for that, and that's Christine on the other side.
Oh, the gospel artist.
Yeah.
Oh, now I recognize her. After you say that, yeah.
The only other Christian that I'm telling you now that I judge is Bushiri. Bushiri is going straight to hell. I'm telling you this now.
Wow. Oh.
I saw a clip where Bushiri says there's a fridge at your house, and did you see that? And there's vegetables. Wait, let me look for it.
There's a tomato.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I've seen it. I've seen.
What do you think of
a lot.
Bushiri?
I choose not to have an opinion.
But you have one though.
Well, I choose not to express it. At the end of the day, I'm in the gospel circles, and there's people who have opinions about
Judge
me and
not.
how I do things. And then also, one thing I've come to realize about Christianity is the grace that God gives us. People may be called and be doing funny things. Even when you go back to the Bible, you will see that there were people who were very flawed that God was very close to. So I could be sitting here judging him, and if he was doing wrong in the moment, he could have gone back to God and said, Father, forgive me.
Besides,
and he's reconciled with
Please
God.
listen to this.
and the Bible will say, the Bible itself says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm.
Right.
But how do
You
we
don't know what relationship he has with God.
No,
Right.
no, we don't. But
So
I can only. Yeah, go ahead.
even when he's doing wrong, the fact that he is still called,
Yeah.
he's
He's
still
still
covered.
anointed.
No, but
Right.
how do you know he's cold though? Actually, wait. Listen to this.
I mean,
You don't. That's why you shouldn't touch
I'd
him.
rather
You see there is a food with it. It's on the food. It's on food. It's on the food. It is in the plates. And I will sing green pepper. Use
And I'm eating green pepper right now.
answer. Is it used or not used? It's used. And I'm seeing tomato.
What else is doing this?
Let's put tomato. Huh? And I'm seeing potato.
but then again,
Say what you will.
that's a clip that may have
We
been
don't know
taken
the
out
sermon,
of
yeah.
context.
Oh, she says no, there's no tomato.
I have no idea, but I know he's going to hell.
And we're moving on with the photos.
I'm not involved
Yeah, I
in
know.
that opinion.
Get you back into comfort now. Tell us about these moments. What goes through your mind? What's happening in your body, in your spirit, everywhere?
I'm just in the zone. I'm just locked and gone and just with God. I mean, obviously the picture was taken without me knowing that the picture was being taken.
You're not
but
acting
then
at all,
I love to have those moments, especially in my private time. I think it's just even more meaningful. Yeah, it's just I don't know how to define it. It's just worship does something to me. It just connects me to God at a different level. Yeah. And I just get lost and soaked in it.
It's been a great episode. Like I've enjoyed this in ways we've never had before. Where Elson really watched what he was saying, A bit strange.
That is a good thing.
He wasn't himself, so do you need a painkiller?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay. All right, just saying. Chileshe Bwalya,
We were
Mumba.
talking about marriage.
Oh, yeah, getting back to that. The food is so good, I'm not even hearing else on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying, I don't know if I'll ever get married.
Oh, and I said, I used to be like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What changed? Did he change your mind?
So before I got saved, I had this perception. I mean, obviously, growing up, my parents were always like the power couple, the couple that I looked up to. And then as you grow older, you start to see the cracks and the flaws in the relationship that obviously your parents tried to kind of like hide from you.
yeah.
And that kind of scared me. On top of that, having gone through sexual abuse, it was like,
Whoa.
there's that trauma. I thought you did
went
your
through what now?
research. It's all over the internet.
Who abused you, boo-boo?
A very close relative. Forgiven him, so I don't put him out there.
Was he
But-
arrested?
So I never talked about it up until I was 18, and when I had the opportunity to get him arrested, I chose
Not
to.
to.
Yeah, he's a father of girls now. So
Another thing that I've realized in the African culture, you know that one rich uncle who takes half the family through school, but then he abuses them.
everybody.
You know what I mean? And when the abused girl comes out and says, this is what has happened, the
Yeah.
elders sit and they say, no, but then if we report him and he goes to jail, we're all going to starve.
I personally am pro reporting to the police.
Yeah.
I don't ever encourage anybody to just
Go to the relatives.
go to the police. Any kind of abuse, go to the police. The reason why I chose not to get him arrested is I felt like at that point I felt like he had received his karma
How?
in the life he was living that he shouldn't have been living. He had so many opportunities, but because of what he had done and how he had chosen to make decisions in life, things went really bad for him, even
Right.
though he still has that opportunity to, get
Did
back
he ever
on top.
apologize?
No, he never did. I had to forgive for me.
How old were you?
When it happened, between 6 and 7.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I've also realized, and I could be wrong. The people that rape hardly ever rape for sex. It's about power.
I also
Exerting power on somebody who can't
feel
defend
like
themselves.
Exactly.
I also feel like sometimes broken people will break others. So
Hurt people hurt others.
yeah, like
Yeah.
he could have experienced his own kind of, which I know I can't really get into detail without now putting the person out there. So it boils back down to that. And he was young also not young, he was a legal adult.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, so that flawed my perspective or perception of men, and it kind of made me feel like I don't think I ever. And then growing into seeing the flaws in people's marriages, not only my parents, obviously other marriages around me, I kind of feel like I don't want this. And then I did get to a point where I chose to give love a try, and then it ended like a Nigerian movie,
Which is where someone was in the
which
bottle.
is he was getting married to someone else.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you found out about this on the wedding day.
No. It's a whole long story.
Right.
But anyway, fast forward, I'm in a relationship with a guy, find out he's in a relationship with someone else, basically find out I'm the side chick,
Oh.
and I'm totally invested in the relationship. Now I'm stuck in a space of, do I fight for this? Do I not? Up until he gets married, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, me, marriage, men,
I'm done.
I'm done. It really took, after I got saved, having a different perspective and meeting a man who has love for God and just also character. His character was just completely different. And yeah, I decided this is it.
Interesting.
I had gotten to a point where I met somebody who was willing to live unmarried
With you.
with me. Yeah.
Sounds like something I'll do.
But
You do.
But that was also an abusive relationship. It was
That's not what I'll do though.
And there's no commitment. So
So
but
what,
my husband's a great guy.
tell me, apart from what the Bible says,
Mm-hmm.
tell me 3 reasons why I need to get married.
Why you need to get married?
Yeah, apart from what the Bible says.
3 reasons.
What are 3? I could have said 5. 3 is the God number, right?
I can't really give you reasons outside of the Bible, to be honest. The major one is, look, the Bible is very clear about fornication and how sex should be preserved for marriage, how it's meant to be a fulfillment of love between 2 people, but then that union must be ordained and covered by God. So if you're gonna live outside of that, you're basically living in sin. And
So 6 is the only
it could
go-to
be-
that you had?
No. It could be
Reason number 1.
it could be the one thing that just sends you to hell. Reason number 2, I just feel like if you really love a person and do you not want to be committed to one person?
Why do I need to involve the government in my relationship?
It's not the government, it's God.
Again, if I say, if I give you my word that I'm going to commit to you, whether the government or a pastor getting involved has got nothing to do with me honoring my word.
So, look,
No?
the principle is paying the dowry, right? Even when you go back in the Bible, you won't find there was a ceremony, she wore a white dress and whatnot. They may have had a party or whatever to celebrate, but the principle that seals the marriage is the dowry. And then also the wedding night, when the covenant is sealed by sex. So even marriages in the village, they may not go to the city council and get a paper signed, but their marriage, as long as it's before
And they're
God, it's,
committed.
But my question is, why get to the point where you say, I want to marry this person, rather than I am going to commit to you until I stop breathing?
I'm going to make a vow before God to commit to you. There's a difference.
Okay. Is that not worse when I break that vow? Because now there's a third person here.
So-
an innocent person who God was minding his own business, you brought him in, you're like, before
but you
him.
are supposed to bring him in. That's the whole
I
point.
hear you. So now when you break it, is it now not worse?
Why
Because
are you breaking it?
how many divorces happened last year?
22,000.
22,000. So saying I do or involving God in that is not really going to seal that marriage or that union for the rest of your lives. It
But
is
it gives
me,
you
it is my...
accountability.
No, my word gives you accountability.
No, your word gives your partner accountability to
To them and myself. Because
right.
my word is
But
my
you
bond.
you now become accountable to God.
Again, I can say my word is my bond. If I borrow money from you and I give you my word that I'm going to pay back,
Elson,
I am, hold on.
Decision.
Wait. That's
you're
what I'm
not gonna do it. Don't do it. Nobody's gonna force you.
No,
and nobody's giving reasons why you should or shouldn't get married.
Can you eat your food?
Nobody's giving reasons why
You don't
you shouldn't
have
get married.
to get married.
No,
But
I hear you.
biblically-
See, my
but
point
I
is
will
this.
say,
My point is, I'm not saying convince me. I'm saying I've not had anybody give me a good enough reason. I could ask you the same damn thing and you can't give me a good enough reason. So I'm not saying nobody's ever given me a good enough reason to do it. I don't have anything against it. But I've
So-
seen people in miserable marriages.
Yeah,
I've seen
of course.
men who cannot go home straight after work. They have to go to a bar first.
So this is where now involving God from inception comes in. For me, I feel like if you're getting married out of the pressure, social pressure, and all of that, it always ends badly. But I mean, there's nothing that God can fix. You just have to know what you want from the beginning and just be like, look, we're in this. What do you want? What is your expectation? What is my expectation? and we're taking those expectations back to God. Because at the end of the day, even my husband will tell me that he is accountable to God over me. And equally, I'm accountable to God over him. So how I treat him, because of the reverence that I have for God, how I treat him is going to reflect from that relationship that I have with God before anything else. So if I know that Christ died for you, for example, right? Christ values you so much that he would die for you. Me as a human being, I come and mess up your life. I have to be accountable to God over whatever it is that I'm doing. So if I have God to be people, obviously, even pastors and whatnot have done things, but at the end of the day, you have God to go back to, who can help you reform and realign and all of that and just make things better. It starts by building the relationship with God first as an individual. And this is why I said, for me, that was a deal breaker. Once you have that relationship with God, then you start to understand. And even for me, once I built that relationship with God, then I started to see marriage from a different perspective, from a biblical perspective. And I started to see that oftentimes where marriage becomes sour is when people start to draw away from God.
What church do you go to?
We're not bringing the church into this.
Anyway, the reason why I ask is a Catholic priest don't get married.
Right. And it's biblical. If you don't want to, if Paul says, if you cannot handle the pressure of wanting to have sex, you're better off getting married. But if you want to commit yourself to God, stay away from it. Stay celibate. Don't not get married, but stay celibate. So,
is masturbation in the Bible?
And it is a sin.
What?
You've been sinning the whole week, bro.
The whole week.
The whole week.
I sinned this morning. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God.
Chileshe, it's been nice having you here.
I didn't need to know that.
It's been a great episode.
Thank you so much
And
for
I think-
having me.
Just listening to your music, I think
You
gives
need
us.
to listen to the new single.
I will. What's the title of the song again?
Kale.
Kale. What's the song about? I think we can conclude on that note.
Okay, so the song is about, when you go to Jeremiah 1:5, talks about,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
sorry. Jeremiah 1:5 talks about God knowing you before he formed you in your mother's womb. And basically, Kale is just a reaffirmation of, despite what you may be going through and how long things may seem to be taking, just remember that God called you and he ordained you and he's assigned you for your purpose and your destiny. And for me personally, the song basically was saying, it doesn't matter what people say about me, how they insult me, how they judge me. All I know is that you called me, you chose me for this mission, and I will keep on keeping on.
To that, we should have a link in the comments for that song, Kale. Because I think almost every song I listen to done by Chileshe Bwalya touches me in a special way. And I'm sure that one will too.
Bless your
Touches you,
heart.
It does touch me. Get your mind out of the gutter for a
It
second.
leaves there.
I will share some of the music.
Yes, please.
It's been a great episode at Tangoni Grills. And in conclusion, you're
Yes.
saying?
Please buy the t-shirts.
Exactly.
We've had people from America
Ordering
order t-shirts.
across the ocean.
You've got a good number of people on your Facebook. You want to plug our t-shirts for us?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
They're anointed.
We will talk about it.
Very anointed t-shirts. Yeah.
see.
You look like you don't believe me.
No, I've seen your t-shirts. It's
No,
good.
about the anointing part.
Me being anointed or
No,
you? Your
the
t-shirts
t-shirts.
being
Our
anointed.
t-shirts.
Where is this anointing from?
I know, right? Who?
Pastor,
Okay.
whose side are you on? Do you sell t-shirts or not?
Who is the pastor
They're
that
anointed.
anointed you?
Since this guy's saying who? Some pastor. I'm like, do you want to sell these t-shirts or not? Whose side are you on? I need to move t-shirts, nigga. I've got a son, okay? I got bills to pay.
It's been a great episode.
Thank you for having
It's gonna
me.
be choking, man. Chileshe Bwalya, Mumba, thanks for coming through to that Zed Podcast.
Thank
And
you for having me.
it's been a great episode.
It's been amazing.
I've watched Elson
was
evolve
scared
a
of
little
him.
bit. You're scared of
But-
him.
You were scared of me.
Yeah, I was.
Why?
Why?
I've watched the show.
Okay, so you must know that I'm very friendly.
Yeah, when you want to be.
But how has the experience been
It's
so
been
far?
good. It's been good. I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, it's how you allow people to.
I didn't want to burn in hell.
I'm
I was not about to burn in hell. So I really had to watch what I said.
What you say.
You know the craziest part is I always believe like when you die and you get to the pearly gates, there's a huge plasma screen and then you sit there with
Show you
God.
what your life was like.
Exactly. And you know how messed up it would be if God shows me that the entire life you are on the right path. You remember the day that you sat down with Chileshe and you say that bullshit
Is where you messed up.
hell is where you're going.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not about to do that.
To the next episode, allow us to enjoy our food now. Nicholas, you look like you've been starving. Our camera guy here. Please, feel free. Courtesy of Angoni Grills. Please feel free. To the next episode, Zed Podcast. My name is K+, Elson. We are Chileshe
You don't
Bwalya
say my name for me. I say my own goddamn name.
and Chileshe Bwalya Mumba.
Thank you.
Dun 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 dun